He was born as someone else's property, not a citizen, not a person under the law, a possession. By the time he could walk, he was already working. And by the time most children learned to read, he had learned something else entirely: how to survive a world built to destroy him. This is not fiction. This is the true story of a boy who picked cotton with bleeding hands and grew up to become one of the richest black men in American history. His name was Alonzo Herndon, and what he built out of nothing will change the way you think about what's possible. Stay with me, because this story is about to get personal. The year is 1858. The place is Social Circle, Georgia. A baby boy is born to a woman named Sophony. She is enslaved. Her body belongs to someone else. And now, so does her son's. His name is Alonzo. There are no records celebrating his birth, no documents wishing him a future. Because in 1858, a black child born in the American South is not expected to have one. Whispers say his father is the very man who owns the plantation, a white man who holds power over everyone around him, including his own son. Think about that for a second. A father who owns his child like furniture. That is the world Alonzo Herndon opens his eyes to. And it is only the beginning of what he will have to survive. By the time Alonzo is old enough to understand the world, he already knows the rules. Wake before sunrise. Work until your hands bleed. Speak only when spoken to. Every single day, he walks into endless fields of cotton, the Georgia sun burning down on his back like a punishment with no crime. His fingers are cut open by the sharp cotton bolls. His feet are bare, blistered, and cracked. There is no summer break, no weekend, no childhood, just labor, just survival. Enslaved families live under constant fear. The fear of the whip, the fear of separation, the fear that today might be the last day they see their mother, their father, their siblings. Children are sold like livestock. Families are torn apart without warning, without mercy, without a single word of explanation. And every single person around young Alonzo has absorbed the same brutal lesson in 1,000 silent ways. Stay quiet. Stay small. Stay in your place. That was the world's expectation for a boy born like him. But nobody, not the plantation owner, not history itself, could see what was coming next. In 1865, everything changes. The Civil War ends. Slavery is abolished. For the first time in American history, millions of enslaved men, women, and children are legally free. Church bells ring. Families fall to their knees. Grown men weep in fields they were once forced to work in chains. Alonzo is only 7 years old. He does not fully understand what freedom means yet, but he feels it. For the first time in his life, nobody owns him. Here's a detail most people never learn in school. In the final months of the war, the government actually promised freed families 40 acres of land and a mule to work it. For a brief moment, real economic freedom felt possible. Then, within a year, that promise was quietly reversed. The land was returned to its former owners. Alonzo's family, like almost every other freed family in the South, got nothing. No land, no mule, no compensation for a lifetime of stolen labor. Just the word free, and little else to build a life with. Here's the problem. Freedom does not come with land. It does not come with money. It does not come with an education, or a home, or a single dollar to start a new life. Alonzo's family owns nothing. Not 1 acre, not 1 coin. So like millions of other freed families, they become sharecroppers, working the very same fields they were once enslaved on, this time for meager wages that barely keep them alive. It is freedom, on paper, but poverty, in reality. Still, something inside Alonzo has shifted. For the first time, he belongs to himself. And that single idea will haunt him, drive him, and ultimately transform him. As Alonzo grows into a teenager, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. If he stays here, he will die here. Poor, forgotten, working the same soil his ancestors bled into. So he makes a decision that will alter the course of his entire life. He leaves. No money, no formal education, no connections, no safety net. Just a boy, walking away from everything he has ever known, into a world that has given him every reason to fail. He takes whatever work he can find. Farm labor, odd jobs, back-breaking shifts that pay almost nothing. Some nights, he sleeps hungry. Some nights, he sleeps outside, under a sky that offers no answers. But he keeps moving. He keeps searching. And then, almost by accident, he stumbles into something that will change everything. A barbershop. At first glance, it seems like nothing special. Just a chair, a razor, a mirror. Success does not erase loss. Wealth does not erase grief. Alonzo experiences deep personal tragedy throughout his life, the kind of heartbreak that wealth can never fully protect you from. Yet through every hardship, he keeps building. He keeps giving. He keeps refusing to let pain define him the way poverty once tried to. His son, Norris Herndon, grows up watching his father turn impossible odds into an empire. And eventually, it will be Norris who carries that empire forward, continuing his father's legacy into the next generation. Alonzo Herndon dies in 1927 at 69 years old. But his story does not end there. Not even close. The company he built survives him. The institutions he funded continue to serve families for generations. The mansion he built with his own hands, his own sacrifice, his own unbreakable will, still stands in Atlanta today. People walk past it. Some stop to take photos. Few truly understand the weight of what happened inside that story. A boy who once had nothing. No freedom. No family security. No hope, according to everyone around him. He built one of the most successful Black-owned businesses in American history, from the wreckage of a company nobody believed in. He turned humiliation into ownership. He turned poverty into legacy. He turned an entire system designed to keep him powerless into proof that it could be defeated. History tends to remember kings, presidents, generals, men born into power. But sometimes, the most extraordinary stories belong to the people who started with absolutely nothing. Alonzo Herndon was born enslaved. He picked cotton as a child, with hands too small for the pain he was forced to endure. He grew up in a world engineered, deliberately and cruelly, to keep him powerless forever. And yet, he refused. Step by step, dollar by dollar, decision by decision, he built an empire that outlived him by generations. And maybe that is the real lesson hiding inside this story. The circumstances of your birth do not have to write the final chapter of your life. Because sometimes, the child working in the fields becomes the man who changes history. And sometimes, the impossible becomes real. If this story moved you, imagine what it took to actually live it. Because Alonzo Herndon didn't just survive history. He left his mark on it, in a way few people ever do. But in the late 1800s, barbershops are not just about haircuts. They are rooms full of power. Wealthy businessmen sit in those chairs. Politicians talk business between shaves. Deals are made. Connections are formed. Futures are decided, one conversation at a time. For a young Black man with nothing, this is an open door most people never even see. Alonzo starts at the bottom. He sweeps floors. He cleans razors. He watches. He listens. He studies every single movement like his life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. He is not just learning how to cut hair. He is learning how power works. He is learning how wealthy men speak, how they negotiate, how they build empires with nothing but confidence and connections. And quietly, without anyone noticing, Alonzo begins building a plan. By the 1880s, something remarkable happens. Alonzo Herndon opens his own barbershop in Atlanta. The city is exploding with growth. Railroads are expanding. Money is pouring in. And Atlanta is quickly becoming one of the most important cities in the entire American South. Alonzo understands something most people miss completely. Hard work alone does not build an empire. Vision does. His barbershop does not just survive, it thrives. Word spreads about the quality, the professionalism, the atmosphere. Wealthy white businessmen, the same class of men who once would have owned someone like him, now willingly sit in his chair, trust his hands, and pay for his service. Think about the weight of that moment. A man born as property, now serving the very class of people who once could have enslaved him. But this time, on his own terms, in his own business, under his own name. While others spend every dollar they earn, Alonzo does something different. He saves. He invests. He buys property. He opens a second shop, then a third. Eventually, his barbershops become some of the most prestigious in the entire city of Atlanta. The boy who once picked cotton with bleeding fingers is now one of the most respected businessmen in the South. But Alonzo is not finished. Not even close. Because his greatest risk, the one that will define his entire legacy, is still waiting for him. The year is 1905. America at the turn of the century is a dangerous place for Black ambition. Banks refuse loans to Black entrepreneurs. Businesses owned by Black Americans are sabotaged, underfunded, or simply ignored into failure. Racial violence and legal discrimination touch nearly every part of daily life. In this hostile climate, Alonzo makes a decision that stuns almost everyone who knows him. He buys a failing insurance company, not a thriving one, not a safe investment, a company on the verge of total collapse. People around him think he has lost his mind. The company has almost no resources, no stability, no guarantee of survival. But Alonzo sees something invisible to everyone else. He sees a desperate need. Black families across the South have no financial safety net. No protection if a husband dies, if a father gets sick, if a breadwinner suddenly disappears. White-owned insurance companies refuse to serve them or exploit them with unfair policies. Alonzo decides to build something different, something that belongs to his own community, something built on trust, not exploitation. So, piece by piece, policy by policy, family by family, he rebuilds the company from the ground up. It is slow. It is exhausting. It requires every ounce of business knowledge he spent decades quietly absorbing. But it works. That struggling company Alonzo Herndon rescued in 1905 will eventually become the Atlanta Life Insurance Company, one of the most successful, most powerful Black-owned businesses in the entire history of the United States. A financial institution built by a man who was once, legally, someone else's property. Let that sink in. As the years pass, Alonzo's success becomes impossible to ignore. He owns valuable real estate across Atlanta. His businesses generate serious wealth, wealth that most Americans, Black or white, could never even imagine at that time. He builds a grand, elegant mansion, a physical symbol of everything he has overcome. Every brick, every window, every carefully chosen detail stands as proof of a life that refused to stay small. The transformation is staggering. A child who entered the world owned by another human being has become one of the first Black millionaires in American history. But here is what makes Alonzo Herndon's story different from so many others. He never forgets where he came from. He funds schools for children who have nothing, just like he once had nothing. He supports churches. He funds community organizations. He creates jobs for people the rest of society refuses to hire. For Alonzo, success was never just about escaping poverty. It was about pulling others out of it with him. But even the most powerful stories carry pain.